So, hello, I'm Shakti Tracy, Diamond Heart Network, and I am really excited today that I've got lovely Benedict Beaumont, who's all the way in Canada, and he is the founder of Breathing Space, and he is who I'm going to be co-teaching on the upcoming Breathwork Facilitator training, and that's starting a week today. So, welcome, Benedict, um, to my lovely Facebook page. My first ever live stream interview on my Facebook page as well. And
How are you
whenever we
feeling?
start a meeting together with Benedict, he always likes to take a breath together. So, do you want to take a breath together to mark the start of this interview, Benedict?
I would love to, Shakti.
Brilliant. So, and you can, if anyone's watching this live or replay, you're welcome to join us. And I just like to put my hands on the heart and yeah, let's just take a breath. And one of the reasons I love doing that as well is, we feel the shift straight away, don't you? You feel yourself land in your body to arrive, and I think that's the power of breath that it can bring where, straight away, a shift like that, a shift in consciousness and allow it to really be in the present moment.
It's so strange, isn't it? Something so simple as just taking a breath with someone changes everything.
Yeah. And yeah, and to do that together, that connection with that person as well, or that connection with the group.
My teacher, Anthony from Alchemy of Breath, he used to describe it like this. Do you know that silhouette picture of two faces facing each other?
Yeah.
And in one, if you look at it in one way, it looks like two faces, and in another way, it looks like a vase or a cup. And he used to call that the chalice, almost like the Holy Grail.
Mm.
And then we choose what we fill that cup up with. And when we allow it to fill with our breath, then something magical, something amazing, something awesome, something like we get a choice to fill it with pure love, really.
Yeah.
And that has always struck to me. We get to choose what we fill up that space between us. And to do that with a breath is such a simple yet such a profound action to take.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I totally, believe, well, it's my experience, when we become conscious of the breath, that the breath is love, really. And that's all that we are filling ourselves with. And this chalice is the perfect thing, the Holy Grail, to me, that's really in tune actually with what Diamond Heart Network is, because the diamond is this highest point of love. And the breath is like a bridge to access that, and to fill ourselves with that, and to bring ourselves into alignment with, this bigger source. That's my experience in any case.
Mm.
Um,
That's
but
how I feel about it as well. I describe breathwork as it's the and I love what you said about bridge, and I'm going to use that now, by the way. But I use it about I talk about connection and how the breath enables us to connect both with that wisest, highest, truest, kindest, most loving part of ourselves, and then also connect with that part in other people as well, and
mm,
really connect with the universe and the universal love around us as well too.
yeah, absolutely. So I know we're doing this facilitator training this week. We've got lots of interviews planned, and I know when we come to this interview, you love to ask people why they want to become a breathwork facilitator. And so I just want to ask you that, Benedict. What made you want to become a breathwork facilitator?
What a lovely question. And if you don't mind, I'll just take a couple of minutes to talk about that. Can you remember when you were at school, Shakti? Um, and was there one or two really annoying, irritating kids in your class who always knew what they wanted to do?
Wasn't me.
Yeah, it wasn't me either. And part of me would ridicule them, saying, how can you know what you want to do with your life? You're 12, 13, whatever it is. You don't know anything about life. And there's part of me that was also really jealous of them because to have that kind of knowledge of this is what I'm meant to do in life, and a purpose, a calling, is a very powerful thing to have. Now, I never really had that. I kind of wanted to have that. So, in many ways, I was searching, and I've been searching all my life. And I've done so many different things. Some of them very selfish, like being in a rock band, or I was a filmmaker for a while. I made a feature film, in fact. And I was doing those for the wrong reasons. I wanted to do artistic self, expression. I wanted to be famous and successful. And then I went on a journey of going inwards. I was a practicing Buddhist for 7 years, and was very disciplined actually, and I did a lot of meditation early in the mornings and late at nights, and I used to spend all Sundays studying Dharma. I trained to be a yoga teacher, and I spent a lot of time on a yoga mat, twisting myself into different positions, always because I was looking for something. And I think that something is the higher self, that connection to the universe, that kind of that moment of awe and wonder and love at the world around us. And all of those things that I tried, whether it was on stage performing, recording an album, writing a book, making a film, whether it was meditating, all of them, maybe I would have glimpses of what that really felt like. But then there was one moment in 2014, I was invited to a conscious breathwork in Bali, in Ubud in Bali, by Anthony from Alchemy of Breath. And he was just a guy I'd met, and I asked him what he did. And he said, I'm a breathwork facilitator. And I thought, oh yeah, okay, I've done yoga and meditation, I've done some breathing exercises, I get that. And he said, are you sure? And I said, yeah. And he says, well, why don't you come along to a breathwork? I'm running one on Saturday as a guest, free, no charge, and just see what you think. And like all good drug pushers, the first one is free, and after that. And so I went along to this breathwork, and within five breaths, I'd gone to a deeper, more profound place than I'd ever gone to before. More deeper than on stage performing, which is quite a great feeling to have. More than that feeling of pride when you finished a project like writing a book or finishing a film. More than that kind of moment after an hour and a half of a sweaty yoga session when you really feel in peace in shavasana, and more from some very deep meditations. And it was easy, it was joyful, it was fun, and I got it to with 5 breaths, and I was like, oh my goodness, what is going on here? And I could hear around me everyone else in different spaces. Some people were screaming like they were being stabbed. Some people were laughing like they were hearing the biggest cosmic joke. And some people were even having full body orgasms. And I just, what is happening here? And then 5 breaths later, I knew I have to learn how to do this. And it was as simple as that. I knew in my first breathwork that I would train to do this, because after 20 years, maybe even all my life of searching what it is that I wanted, I knew that breathwork was the key, was the bridge to finding that. That's why I trained to be a facilitator, and that is why I train other people to become facilitators as well.
So I know with breathing space, and it isn't just about, like you say, you becoming a facilitator and giving holding space for other people, which is an amazing thing to do as well. It is, the vision is, like you say, to train other people to be facilitators, and also to train other people to be teachers, like myself, so that we can go off and train people as well. And it is this big inspiring global vision for breathwork. And why is it that you've got this global vision? Why isn't it that you're just holding space? Can you tell me a bit more about this big vision?
Sure, I love that question, um, because it allows me to talk about my true vision, and to talk about my ambition, which can be a dirty word when you talk about ambition. There's a lot of people who will shy away around that, but I'm not ashamed to say that I'm really ambitious about breathwork, not for me personally, and not even for breathing space, but I see so much suffering in the world. I see so much disconnection. I see so much, people who are struggling. And breath work, I know for me and for the thousands of people that I've breathed with, is something that can really help. So I am not ashamed in saying I want to bring breathwork out into the world. I have experienced its profound transformative power, and I want other people to experience that. So why am I just not being a facilitator myself? Well, I can breathe. How many people could I breathe in a week? I don't know, 30 people, 50 people, 100 people, maybe even 200 people. But there is a limit on how many people I can connect with and, and breathe. But if I start to train other people to be facilitators, and then maybe they breathe 30, 40, 50 people, even if it's just 2 or 3 people a week, well, suddenly we start to see a bigger growth of people that we can reach. And then if I start to train other people to become teachers and train other facilitators, well, then we're starting to get more than just growth. We're getting an exponential growth. And we really start to be able to step up and breathe the world. We start to help people connect with themselves and connect with others. We start helping people feel. And you know what? Even if you just come along as a breather and you allow yourself to feel and you allow yourself to connect, well, when you go out into the world, you just unconsciously give permission for other people to do the same. And there's this amazing rippling effect out into the world from people just doing something so simple as breathing.
I'll just take a breath with that because I love this vision. I love this vision, and and it inspires me so much. And the reason, this vision is the reason I wanted to get involved with Breathing Space because, to be honest, it is the same vision as Diamond Heart Network. This idea through activating ourselves, and then we can go out to this point of love. For me, that's what the diamond was. We go out and we touch other people by embodying this love ourselves, and the more people, and like I say earlier, the breath's a way of activating that, and then the more people that goes out there. And that's how, I like to call it the underground revolution. You know what I mean? It's like we're not against anyone, we're just creating something new by transforming ourselves, and the breath is the way, is it, there's other pathways as well, but the breath is the most
Mm.
powerful pathway I personally have connected with as well. And I've been on my own healing journey, for the past 25 years as well. And when I met breathwork, it was just like, wow, never met something that was goes so deep so fast, and just plugs us into that source, to that magic, and and you don't, like you say, it doesn't matter even if you just come to a group session, you're still taking all that love you connect to, you're going shopping in Morrison's or wherever else it is, you're taking that love and that connection to yourself and that light everywhere you go, and yeah, in just that, like you say, that connection to ourselves, this is what's going to transform the world. There's no battles needed, there's no like fighting against some sort of power. It's like we're transforming the world just by embodying ourselves, embodying that love within ourselves, and yeah, the more teachers, the more facilitators, the more people coming to breathe together, and I love, I can't remember who it was. I know you recently organized a 24-hour inspiration festival, and I think somebody in that was saying about about the unifying force of breath. We're all breathing the same air across the world. We're all breathing the same air as our ancestors are breathing, that every animal breathes, that this symbiotic relationship with all of nature, breath is what unites Earth as a planet, and to be coming together at this like amazing time of transition, and to be bringing that and being part of, the growth of that across the planet. To me, that's a really exciting thing, and I'm so excited to be sharing this training, and starting this training together with you. Next week, Benedict. So yeah, so thank you for the opportunity to do that, because I know you offered us it quite early on, because I was already leading my own groups, which I'm really grateful for. That belief in me stepping up as well. Um, but would you like to say anything about that before I ask you a little bit about the training? Or
Um, all the time, I'm really looking forward to running this training course with you, Shakti, because one of the things I love, one of the things that's difficult about teaching is it's often a very lonely job. If you're the teacher at the front of the class, and that doesn't matter if you're teaching breathworks or if you're teaching in a school, in a classroom, like a regular teacher. And I was a regular teacher for many years. And so it is always a joy to teach with someone else. But particularly, I mean, I enjoy teaching because you're very different to me, and the energy that you bring is different to me. And your interests and your history and your knowledge and your experience is something that I have, no experience in, like shamanic breathing. I have very little experience of that, and I love that you're going to be bringing that energy into our next facilitator training, because something facilitator training with breathing space is not about. It's not about making cookie cutter versions of me or you or anyone else. It's not saying this is what a breathwork facilitator has to be like. Breathwork facilitator training is about finding the unique part in you and the special gifts and way that you are going to step forward and step up as a facilitator. And it will help you find your own particular style, your own magic, if you like, about how you will hold space and how you will help your breathers experience whatever it is that they need to experience.
Yeah, and I love that about the training because I do, it's this. I used to actually run a course myself a few years ago called Walking Your Unique Medicine Path, and it was people who had trained in healing, but also finding out, well, what is unique about your healing? What is unique about you that you can bring to the Reiki you've trained in, or whatever? And I think the same with breathwork for me. It's like, well, how can we bring in all your past experience, your past skills to create something new? It's like we shouldn't be all doing the same thing. And what I love about breathwork is that it does evolve. It has to evolve to meet the times that we're in. Like we've all had to step up and go online, and that's what keeps it new, and that's what keeps it relevant, and it's in alignment to what's needed in the world. And if people are feeling that call to step up, it's because they're needed. They're unique, amazing, life experience, and there isn't just one model of what makes a good breath worker, but it's their unique life experience and just feeling that call more than anything. And it's like, well, how can we bring that together, and whatever your background, if you're feeling that call, I mean, me personally, I think, well, let's explore it. Let's see, is this the time to be stepping up, to be doing the training? Yeah. Is it something you particularly look for when you're doing the interviews and talking to people about the course, Benedict?
That's a great question. You've got some very good questions today. Um, so breath workers come in all shapes and sizes. Everyone is different, and so there is no set of things that I look for in someone to say, you know, you can be a breathwork facilitator, because everyone's different. Now, I am a middle-aged English guy who likes football and likes a pint of beer, loves pub quizzes and science fiction. I'm a normal guy. I am not, particularly esoteric or particularly into the more, I don't know, what might call it the esoteric side of breathwork. I feel that I want to bring breathwork into the kind of normal everyday world. But that's me. I look for someone who is passionate, I suppose, who is ready to go on their own journey. That's it, I think. I look for people who are prepared to go on their own journey, because we are never fixed and we are never healed and we are never the completed article. We can only ever teach from our own healing journey. And breathwork is that journey of ourself. And we find that after a little while, our journey of our own healing becomes the journey, the healing that we bring out into the world. Generally, we teach what we most need in our lives anyway. So there isn't anything particular that I look for when I interview someone about the breathwork facilitator training. It's whether they're ready to step up. It's whether they feel the call, and whether they're prepared and committed to going on their own journey of self-exploration, self-discovery, and self-transformation, I think I would say.
Yeah.
What about you? What do you look for?
Probably love.
Well,
Yeah, I think, I think, it's that commitment to living from that place, that the heart, because I think, you know, and if we can be in our own heart as much as possible, that's where we hold that space for others as well. And also, I think commitment to that, your own healing path, it's not about, like you say, it's not about being fixed. Otherwise, I wouldn't be a breathwork facilitator. But, and I've got to agree, like, all my workshops are designed around, like, well, what do I most need this month? um, but yeah, are you committed to your own journey? Are you committed to looking at yourself? Because actually, I think if we don't look at ourselves, there is a chance of, we're projecting, onto the other person. So it's really important to be keeping our own stuff clear and what's going on for me right now. But the breath kind of brings our attention back to that in any case. Um, but yeah, I think, I'm just interested in the people and, what is it that brings them there, and sometimes it's like, even if they're not ready in that moment, it's like, right, just try these other things and then, come back, so it's, but I think people tend to know whether they're ready or not more than us, to be honest. um, but yeah, and I've, just to say about the training as well, it is a 10-month training, like you said. It's a journey. It's not just, we're not just creating breathwork facilities out there, and it's a 10-month journey, which is quite long for a breathwork training. Why did you make it so long?
A 10-month training, there's a few reasons. Firstly, I didn't want this just to be a weekend course or a few weeks and then say you're ready to go out and facilitate people. Because in breathwork, we can take people to the most profound places. And I want people to be really good breathwork facilitators. And you can only be a powerful breathwork facilitator if you're willing to go to those journeys yourself. In fact, I say that the depth, well, I can't remember the exact words, but it's something about being the depth of the healing and the power that you can be as a facilitator is really the depth of your commitment to your own journey and the depth that you are willing to go to your own tender and vulnerable places. You cannot really hold people in any space of depth if you can't do that for yourself. Um, and to be a safe practitioner, you need an extended period of time. This isn't a skill that you can learn in a weekend, you know, and we have pretty strict criteria actually to pass this course. This isn't a course, by the way, that you can just turn up to, sit at the back of the class, and just coast through. No. To pass this course, you have to be committed. You have to do the work, you have to turn up, you have to read some books, you have to run some practice breathwork sessions. You are supported in everything in the best way that we possibly can. But this is not a course where you just turn up and get a certificate at the end by any means. It's too important for that. And our role is too important just to cruise through and be given a certificate at the end.
And there are opportunities to step up within the breathing space as well, aren't there? You're very supported and to step up to become a practitioner. You're not just like going to case studies out there. It's, you're held within the breathing space sort of family to
Yeah.
do.
So the only way to learn to facilitate breathworks is to facilitate breathworks. Everything that you do in a classroom or in a Zoom session or at home studying or watching videos will only ever help you step through that doorway. The only way you can learn to be a facilitator is by facilitating. So we offer spaces where you can do that. We run 3 online breathworks every single week in different time zones. So wherever you are in the world, there will be a way that you can step up and lead. And that is for every breathing space facilitator, whether you're a trainee or whether you're an apprentice, whether you're a graduate as well. You will still always have the opportunity to come in and lead breathworks in a supported way to real people.
And even after and what I love about breathing space as well, it's not just about you do your training, you get your certificate, you're out there in the world. You really are creating community, aren't you? We're creating a community of facilitators, we're creating a community of mentors, of teachers, and that the support after the training end, continues. I don't know if you want to share a little bit about, what kind of things happen after the training ends as well.
Yeah, this is another point that I'm really clear on because my ambition is for us to, go out and change the world. But you cannot do that as a newly qualified facilitator unless you are supported. I've done so many trainings, like my yoga teacher training, where I finished my training and then that was it. And my relationship with the the school ended, and then suddenly I was out by myself without really, I knew how to run a class, but I had no idea how to run workshops or retreats. And I just, I was out there by myself. It was lonely and it was difficult, and I almost gave up. And I had to go around it, and it's very difficult to make this a supported journey if you have to go out and hustle, and you have to try, especially if you're alone and you haven't got a community. So it's very important for me, because I wanted it. you know Maybe it's just selfish because I want a community to support what I'm doing, but I know as a newly qualified facilitator, it's so much easier and you're so much more likely to succeed and to stay with it if you are in a supported community. And that's what I want to happen. I want people to be supported as they go forward, in however that the best way for them. So breathing space is very much is more than just a facilitator training course. It is a community that you will be welcomed into.
And and I've just got to say as well, I had trained as a breathwork facilitator and working by myself in Newcastle as a breathwork facilitator for 2 years before I got involved with breathing space. And the value that I've got about being in that community space and that support network, it's it to support you in all the steps of the way to step up to really rise to your potential. I've got, even though I had been an experienced practitioner, that has given me so much and it's made me kind of rise because of that. And yeah, it can be a lonely thing being a practitioner out there by yourself, have no one, to turn to for advice. Now, if I'm stuck on something, I'm unsure on something, I've got, a huge, or I feel vulnerable after I've been too much out there on Facebook, I've got a community of people, who I can turn to, who I can talk to, of friends and who understand and just to support each other right the way through. And I just think it's such a valuable thing in the world, and someone who reflects, someone that reflection of, and keep me on the right track, so yeah, so thank you for bringing that into the world. So I think we'll end for now, Benedict, if that feels all right for you. But it's been absolutely lovely to talk to you, and if anybody wants to get in touch, what's your website address?
Makesomebreathingspace.com.
Make some
And we have all sorts of things on there. I mean, Shakti Tracy has got some amazing offerings. So if you're watching this on Diamond Heart Network, please connect more with Shakti, because what she brings is really special. And there's information about the facilitator training on there. Now, if I'm just going to mention one other thing as well, we also offer apprenticeships, which is absolutely unique in the breathwork world. I don't think there is any other school that's offering this. Shakti is one of our mentors that offer this. So if you feel called to go on a journey with just one mentor, could be Shakti, could be myself, or we have a few other teachers that offer this. You can apprentice to the teacher, and you will learn almost like on an expressway breath work as well. So there's group training available, but if that doesn't work for you for whatever reason, you can apprentice people as well. There's information about that on my page, Make Some Breathing Space, as well as free courses, our online breathing spaces that we run.
And what time's the Thursday one? There's one
Thursday
this
one
Thursday.
is at 8:30 p.m. UK time every single week. We run that every
And just
single
to
week.
give a mention as well, because on Monday you're not only starting the UK, which is what you're teaching with me, actually because Breathing Space is such a global vision, you're also starting a US time zone one, aren't you, with another teacher?
Actually, we are starting it, but not for 2 months. We decided to postpone that training. So if you are watching this and you're in a North American time zone, we are starting a training on the 1st of April, the 5th of April, not April Fool's Day. We're starting a training on the 5th of April 2021. If you are in a US based time zone, that may be more useful for you. But we start training several times throughout the year. So if you're watching this somewhere in the mid 20s, 22, 22, 2022 or 22. Just check our website, because we will have more trainings coming up.
Yeah, and I'll pop all the links in the comment before. So, well, thank you so much, Benedict. Lovely to talk to you as always.
Always a pleasure.
And shall we have a breath to end this lovely interview?
Let's have a breath together.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shakti.
And I'll speak to you soon.
Speak to you soon.